Welcome to the Big Movie Mouth Off, sponsored by Dr. Volt's Comic Connection. Comic books, toys, games, other sort of geeky things. We're here at Groovy Cinema Pub to review more movies today. I'm Jeff Weiss from MSN Movies.
And I'm Jimmy Martin with SLUG Magazine.
Our first movie is Morning Glory. A romantic comedy slash media satire starring Rachel McAdams as the new producer for an unsuccessful New York City morning program.
Did you get a job yet?
No, but I have feelers out. Lots.
So you're a fan of our morning program?
So many.
Yeah, we know it's terrible.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll show you what to do with those shampoo bottles with just an inch of shampoo left.
Daybreak's understaffed, underfunded. Any producer who works there will be publicly ridiculed, overworked, underpaid. Awful.
I'll take it. I'd like to offer you the position of co-host of Daybreak.
After the career that I've had.
Is he gonna cook? Is he gonna do fashion segments and gossip?
Not my thing.
You happen to be a pretentious, fatuous idiot.
A fatuous idiot who makes 3 times what you make.
So now is an excellent time for you to take up drinking.
You know, it's funny that you call it a romantic comedy because for me, the most boring aspect of this film is the romantic comedy because Rachel McAdams with Patrick Wilson, for me, doesn't work at all. And it's something that shouldn't really be in there. But the dynamic between Harrison Ford, who plays this anchor who is glorified, you think Tom,
He's the veteran newsman.
Yeah, you think Tom Brokaw, Dan Rathers, Walter Cronkite all mixed into one and coming out as a grumbling old man who just doesn't want to do anything that Rachel McAdams wants him to do.
He's a respectable newsman who's been forced into this uncomfortable role, basically by blackmail.
Interesting. Jerry hired you. No polish, those bangs.
Suppose I don't have standards?
Sure you do. When you got your pep smear on air, you wore a silk robe.
Okay!
Lassie touch.
It wasn't that bad.
How reliable is your alarm clock?
You want to make the ratings worse? That's why you came here?
I'm not giving up.
Try not to bore the nation into a coma with your dull news crap.
Suck it.
Mike! No one can do their jobs around here well because you can't be bothered to do yours at all!
Yeah, but the altercations that come between him and Diane Keaton, who plays this "I'll do anything for ratings" kind of girl in the morning news show,
Right.
that's where for me the movie works.
Well, that's the heart of the movie.
It is.
And you'll notice that we're sort of likening this film to Broadcast News, the Oscar-nominated James Brooks film, in which basically Holly Hunter played the new producer for news programs, and there were romantic consequences, and also a bland male lead who had romantic consequences. In that film, it was William Hurt, who can act.
Yeah.
Here we have Patrick Wilson, also known as the poor man's William Hurt.
That's very true.
He is a very boring presence.
Sometimes after work, a few of us go over to Schiller's on Madison.
I don't really go out.
Like tomorrow, around 8.
Okay.
I always love the roles that she's done, and she's really funny. That's what's so exciting about this.
It's called picking up the game, people. Every single story that we do is going to have to be sensational.
Are you gonna...
I'm not going to sing. Why do people ask me that?
And you're right, completely. The romantic comedy takes over what is a promising little film that has a lot of good things to say about morning news programs, with a lot of good people in support, including Jeff Goldblum, who's the network executive who hires Rachel McAdams, and shows up for the first about 10 minutes of the movie and then disappears.
Gone.
The film can't decide what it wants to do, and that's a problem. It was written by Aline Brosh McKenna, who I thought she got off to a good start for her career, but her succeeding screenplays have included things like 27 Dresses in This.
Yeah.
Apparently her Devil Wears Prada script was the exception and not the rule.
Yeah. What's funny, and we go back to this, like Harrison Ford, Diane Keaton, they work. And for me, Rachel McAdams is this is not her best movie by any means. I don't see her charm in it that I've seen in other films.
No, she's forced into a role I think that's not comfortable for her.
Exactly. And for me, the best, like you said, Jeff Goldblum is one of the great aspects of this film. The weatherman, I want to say his name's Matt Malloy.
It is.
Who is put into these ridiculous situations, but just drives the comedy through the roof.
But he shows up for a minute and then is gone.
Yeah, but every time he does come back, every now and then, is when the laughs come.
Right.
So, but there's one more though that I don't want to forget this. It's Ty Burrell of ABC's Modern Family, who's in there as a perverted news anchor. And talking about there and gone, he's there for 5 minutes, but every time he's on the screen, it's hysterical.
Yes, and his face is seen on things throughout the movie.
Yes.
Even though he's gone, and I'm reminded that I would much rather see him than Patrick Wilson and his giant forehead, beady eyes, and mismatched ears.
See, I would even, not that Harrison Ford, ruined this movie for me, but I would have loved to see the Ty Burrell character brought in with the Diane Keaton character of this creepy guy who he's more interesting.
Well, not only that, but it would set up the later Harrison Ford and Diane Keaton situation better.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up Harrison Ford. He has great chemistry with Diane Keaton. He also has really good chemistry with Rachel McAdams.
He does.
And towards the end, I almost started wondering if Harrison Ford and Rachel McAdams were going to wind up together, because I was much more convinced about that relationship than I was with her and the plastic standee that keeps getting rolled out occasionally for her to make out with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, certainly Harrison Ford likes the younger girls, so it's obvious, but...
And young and skinny girls, I think Rachel McAdams is one.
Yeah, the only thing that bothered me with Harrison Ford is throughout, for me, the entire movie, he had the Batman voice of Christian Bale. It's very grumbly, And maybe that works for an old, bitter newscaster, but, I like the film in parts. I think it missed the mark on a lot of other things. It's funny and then kind of drags out a little bit too much for me. I give it 2.5 stars.
And see, I like the 40%, that's the morning show. Mm-hmm. I despise the 60%, that's the romantic comedy, and for that I gave it 2 stars.